Yo, welcome to episode 159. How's it going, Alyssa?
It's going great. Yo.
Look, I'm just trying to keep it short and sweet today. It's going to be simple.
It's going to be a simple podcast. Day. It's going to be a good podcast. I'm glad to be back.
Exactly. Welcome back. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Sure.
Jeremy and I have just been really busy with things, and there was actually a week and a half where I was sick, so we just haven't had time to record the podcast, but we're recording now. And glad to be back, honestly. I have a lot to talk about.
Can we talk about your brief absence, by the way, and how it was kind of scary?
Yes. I was really sick for about a week and a half to 2 weeks, and I kind of had flu-like symptoms, but it wasn't COVID. I think I was just, the doctor says I was just sick, and they're pretty sure it was a flu, but it sure felt like it was COVID, but it wasn't. California is opening up more vaccines in their phases, so I'm hoping to get vaccinated by June or July. The reason, even though they're opening it up to people by April, I think it's going to be a bitch to get an appointment.
I agree. And at the writing of this podcast, like you just mentioned, the governor announced a few days ago that people that are 16 and older are now eligible to get the vaccine after April 15th.
Yes.
However, it's going to be like that first wave where there's all the 65 plus people who are all trying to get the vaccine at the same time. It's going to be insane. And I don't think I'm going to get the vaccine either, like, quickly. I'm just going to have to wait
Refresh.
It out. Yeah. Like,
that's what you got to do.
Like, there are other people who are my age and younger who are getting the vaccine. I'm like, how do you guys do it? I mean, okay.
First of all, they did a big jump from 50 to 16. They didn't even do, like, 50 to 30. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Like, it's so weird because they skewed the numbers this weird way. They're like, oh, okay, we're going to start at the top and then go to the bottom. Actually, we're going to start from 70 to, like, teenagers. How about that? It's like, wait, what? Excuse me?
Like, anyways.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie, Jeremy.
Well,
I'm definitely now going a little crazy. I mean, we've all been kind of going a little crazy since COVID, but I really want to go to a convention because I've been stuck in my house for all this time. I've been worried about COVID and you know, we've all been isolated, that it makes me want to do the thing that I usually don't really like doing, which is going to a convention.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about it because they officially made Comic-Con virtual this year, and I miss interacting with people at a large scale.
Same.
And they also canceled E3 too, and it's just weird that all of these feelings made me realize, you know, going to a con's not that bad, or I just need to get that out of my system.
Yeah, we miss the things that we don't have.
Yeah,
right?
we miss the things that we don't have.
And, you know, I guess, what is that saying? It's like, you miss it more when it's gone?
Yeah.
What is that saying? I forget the phrase. I'm butchering it.
I forgot the exact phrase, but that's basically it.
Yeah. But, so, yeah, I feel the same way. And, you know, meeting up with a friend at the park is cool and it's chill. You know, it's pretty safe because, you know, we're all outside. But, you know, being around a lot of people is nice too. And I don't know, it just feels weird congregating around so many people and, you know, knowing that there's this danger flying around.
I know.
It sucks. But like going into that, I actually went to a wedding this past weekend, and I'm going to be careful with my words here because some of the people at that wedding might listen to this episode.
Really?
But,
oh, geez.
Yeah. So I'm going to be as critical as possible, objective as possible, but I will refrain from saying too many opinionated things because
go for it.
Yeah, because I just have to get some things off my chest. And I don't know, maybe I'll just say fuck it and just say what I feel. But so, you know, going to a wedding during this pandemic is a little strange in that you don't know what to expect. And I really think that depends on the couple, their family, and their values, like how they want to hold the wedding. So in this case, it was my cousin. This being my cousin on my dad's side. So we had a little bit of brunch with our extended family beforehand. You know, we were trying to be as safe and as distant as possible. I actually got tested the Friday before, and it came out negative. So I confirmed that, you know, I did not have any symptoms and I didn't have COVID at all. So with that negative test in mind, negative results of the test in mind, I go to, you know, this brunch with my aunt and uncle, and that was really okay. There was only like 3-4 people total outside of my immediate family, which is my brother and my 2 parents. So we went to this brunch. Everything was cool. We're like speculating the whole time, like, what do you think it's going to be like? What do you think is going to happen? So we go to the wedding, and let me preface by saying on the way to the wedding, we got a photo from one of my cousins, and all the chairs are right next to each other, like really close. And I was like, okay, red flag number 1. We pull up to the venue. Most people are not wearing masks. I was like, what year is this? It was like 2019. It felt really weird. Ceremony was cool. It just was uncomfortable sitting next to all these people that were not wearing masks. Mind you, though, my whole dad's side of the family, shout out to them, they all wore masks. And, you know, they're very careful about, you know, everything that they did. Can't speak for the other side. However, I will say I'm very proud of my dad's side of the family because we all wore masks and we were all very respectful of that. And I'm very proud of them. There wasn't an open bar, but we found a bar next door because the venue was at a golf field. And is that what it's called? Golf range?
Course.
and
Golf course.
Golf course. There we go. I was like, wait, I can't speak English for a second. It was at a golf course, and there's a bar next door. And my uncle, my wonderful, wonderful uncle, he just kept buying us drinks, and it was awesome. However, I had not eaten anything since brunch, mainly due to the fact that I was not comfortable eating the food since it was buffet style, and there were all these people not wearing masks who were getting the food. So I did not feel comfortable eating the food, and that's totally fine, you know, but I was also really fucking drunk. So I couldn't, I was hungry, I was drunk, and I was like on the verge of just being like, okay, I gotta go I don't know what to do. I don't want to go over there and eat something because that's just not sanitary.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the wedding and the reception were really wonderful overall. It was a beautiful ceremony. It was nice seeing all of my family because I literally hadn't seen any of them in person since 2019. And, you know, we occasionally chatted on Discord and stuff, but even that just felt distant and not cool and not fun. However, after the wedding, we went to In-N-Out. Of course, everyone dressed up to the nines. It was just my immediate family. And I ate a burger. And I swear, that burger tasted like I ate a burger for the first time in my life. It was so good. It was amazing.
Wow. What kind of burger was it?
It was just a double-double. Like, that's all it was. It was an In-N-Out double-double burger. And like, you know, the combination of being starved and not drinking alcohol. I'm sorry, being starved and drinking a lot of alcohol. Not drinking alcohol, because I did drink a lot of alcohol, but being starved and drinking a lot of alcohol combined together to be like, oh my god, this burger is the best burger I've ever had. So that was an experience. Again, I did miss seeing people, and like I think that's where I got my fix from, but at the same time I just felt really uncomfortable around all these people and just not wearing masks. So this coming Wednesday I'm going to get a COVID test because you know, you got to wait a few days beforehand. My parents took tests already. They both came out negative. They also have the vaccine, so I don't know I don't know how well the test was done for them, and maybe there were some symptoms that could have lingered on. You know how even though you had the vaccine, you could still carry the virus and pass it on to people. So I don't think that. I mean, I don't think they did, but you know, I just want to be safe for my own sanity.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that was my like COVID experience, meeting people.
Yes, and you didn't sound controversial, in my opinion.
No. Oh, okay.
pretty valid statements.
Thank you. It's, I just wanted to state that I was worried about my own safety and the safety of my family, but I think my own family took really good care of each other, and they really stepped up and wearing masks and staying
That's
far
good.
apart as much as possible. Trying out this service called Backblaze. This is by no means a sponsor or an ad or anything, but Backblaze is a backup, like computer personal file backup service. It can also be professional as well, depending on which tier you pay for. I paid for the lowest tier, which is like $60 a year. You just you're able to just back up files on your computer to their servers, and they're based in the Bay Area, which is pretty cool too. So I am trying it out because I have the internet connection finally to be able to back up files. I'm actually backing my files up right now as we speak, which is pretty neat. Because I have a lot of data stored on my computer, so I want to be able to access that at any point in my life, and it's kind of cool that I'm able to back up all these files to this service. It's just one of those things that a lot of people don't really think about, like especially with data, like they don't back up their stuff. And if you lose it, you lose it, and that's it. But I like to save my files because some of them are memories, and especially with this podcast, I have almost every episode backed up. So, it's a good thing to just keep doing in your personal life, I think.
I don't use any cloud backup yet. I still have just kind of these external drives. They're, I think, 2 terabytes each, and that's where majority of my stuff is backed up. Though I have been considering at some point uploading to a cloud just so that I can cover all my bases of making sure that all my files are safe and saved in case for whatever reason I can't access my external drives.
Yeah, I have both. I have physical.
Yeah.
I'm crazy. I have a 20 terabyte backup drive, and it's almost full. That's how much shit I have.
There's a lot of it accumulates.
Yeah, it's weird, and I honestly hate buying hard drives because it just doesn't make any sense anymore. So that's why I'm testing out this Backblaze stuff, and by testing, I already bought it, but I just want to see more how it works because my free trial was ending. They give you a 14-day free trial, and it was ending because I have so much shit on my computer that I'm backing up right now that it was gonna go past the 14-day free trial period, and I was like, shit, I need to keep downloading. I need to keep uploading my files to the cloud. So I ended up buying the service because I think being a local service, I think it should be able to validate and download my files and upload my files faster. So that's why I kind of caved in, and instead of using a service either Google, or I know there's other ones too, but yeah, Backblaze just seemed like the most, I don't know, price wise, the most qualifying one in my regards. Plus I have a friend who uses it pretty regularly and he likes it a lot. So, a recommendation is always good too from a friend when it comes to being interested in new service.
External. So I haven't really backed anything significant up to a cloud yet, except I guess for my in terms of Apple, just my phone, in case I get a new iPhone or I lose it. But in terms of a lot of content, I haven't backed up to a cloud server yet.
Okay.
So
yeah,
maybe I'll give it something a try soon.
Yeah, if you ever try out Backblaze, reach out to me. I'll try to answer your questions as much as possible.
Sounds good.
Yeah, the Backblaze's support is also very good. They answer pretty quickly, which is nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so aside from that, the last thing I have going on was that I bought a PlayStation 3. So before I talked about playing Yakuza Dead Souls, which is technically the last US-based Yakuza, not US-based, US translated Yakuza game, that is the last Yakuza game that is available in the US that is fully translated in English. And I started playing it, but I had this weird issue where I had a friend who gave me a PS3, and he was from Japan, so he gave me his Japanese PS3 with the controllers, the power cord, and the cable that charges the controllers. However, because it is a Japanese PS3, circle is yes and X is no, instead of in the US where the configuration is X is yes and circle is no or back. That's just how Japan works, because in Japan, culturally, circle is yes and X is no. So I had a hard time playing the game because there's this issue where the menu UI would pop in when you're trying to save the game, and you have to press circle or X to go, circle to press yes and or continue, and then X to go back. And I just kept having these weird issues, and plus the controllers were dying, so I wasn't really getting the gameplay time I needed out of the PS3, because the controllers were dying, and it just felt clunky playing it on a Japanese PS3. Mind you, all PS3s are region free, so it's nice to play foreign games. However, it was just too difficult, because I also had to use a PS4 controller on top of a PS3 controller, but the PS3 controller wouldn't turn on. So in order to use a PS4 controller on a PlayStation 3, you need to have the PS3 controller on at all times. But of course, the PS3 controller would fail, and then I wouldn't be able to go to the menu or anything, because it only responds to the PS3 controller functions. And that was really frustrating. So, I was like, you know what? I want to go see if there's a PS3. Just on a whim, like a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm just going to go see if there's a PS3 available somewhere in the city on Craigslist. Turns out there was a dude giving one away. And the used running price for a PS3 Slim is about like $200 to $270 something on Amazon, or I saw prices at least like $100.
I didn't realize it was that expensive.
Right? Like prices around like $185 to $200 on eBay. And I was like, okay, this is too expensive. But on Craigslist, there's a dude selling his PS3 that came with 2 controllers, and the cable for the controllers, as well as a remote for $80. And I could not believe that. I was like,
that's a good deal.
Yeah, I was like, oh, what the hell? How can I not pass this up?
That's a good man.
Right? And so, the ad was a little bit weird. It just showed the controllers, and then the next picture was like the Amazon picture on a phone, which is really strange. And I was like, all right. I reached out to the dude, and
I'm sorry, that's not convincing.
It's so sketch, right? And I was like, okay, well, let me just reach out and see what's up. So I reached out to the dude, and I was like, yo, can I get this PS3? Like, is it still available? Can I purchase it? And he comes back to me almost immediately saying, yeah, it's still available. What time and where do you want to meet? And I was like, let's meet downtown. I was like, well, where are you based? And he's like, well, these streets. And I was like, okay, Market, Castro, cool. I was like, let's meet at this corner. And he's like, all right, cool. So that day rolls around. I get there, right? And I'm standing on this corner, and I'm like, okay, this is like, it's not a busy corner, but it's next to a busy street. So if anything were to happen to me, obviously, hopefully someone would come help me.
Okay.
So I'm standing there for 5 minutes. I text this dude, and I'm like, yo, I'm here. Where you at? And I don't see anybody. And I get no message for like a couple minutes. And I'm like, okay, did I just get fucking scammed? Like this $80 PS3 must have been too good to be true. And I turn to my left, and there's this dude peeking over a fence, and I'm like, what the hell? This is kind of weird. And then he runs away. I'm like, what the hell? And then he comes back out later with this giant cardboard box, and he's like, hey, here it is. I could clearly see the PS3 sticking out of the box. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then he's like, yeah, just send me the money on Venmo. So I Venmo'd him the money, and he's like, thanks, I got it. And he's like, if there's a DVD or anything in there, just throw it away. And I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And I was like, wow, are there any issues I should know about this console, or are there any weird quirks? And he's like, no, we just use it to watch DVDs. And then in my head, I was like, why is this so cheap? But then he actually answered my question. I don't know if he read my mind or anything, but he was like, this is a product of divorce. And I was like, okay. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, all right, take care. And I was like, bye. So he doesn't.
Oh no.
He didn't know anything about gaming, and I booted up the PlayStation 3. It worked fine. There was literally nothing on the main menu. Like it was just user one. It was still the default user. Like they didn't use it for gaming. They literally only use it to watch DVDs. Like the console is immaculate. Like it's like almost brand new because it just sat on a shelf and they just watched Blu-rays probably, and that's why they had the remote. And they almost never touched the controllers. The controllers, you know how stuff that's matte black eventually turns like shiny black from too much like hand oil over time. Like these controllers are still matte black, which is really surprising.
Oh wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so I'm wondering how long ago this dude bought his PlayStation 3 because it still looks good, and it's nice. So I did find out that there's something in the disc tray slot. What do you think it was, Alyssa?
Now the question is it a game or not a game?
It's not. It wasn't a game.
Okay. Is this a rated G thing that was in the slot?
I'm not going to say anything else. I just want you to answer.
All right. Jeremy, I think I know what it is, so go ahead and tell me.
No, dude, you say it. I want you to say it first. What do you think it was?
All right. What was it? Was it porn?
No, it was a Pilates DVD.
Oh, that's actually really surprising.
Yeah.
I thought it was porn.
I did too. I'll be real. I did too. I was like, okay, it's gonna be porn.
Man, this guy's fit. Like these controllers are perfect. Like this is a great deal. Now you can do Pilates yourself.
Well, I gave it to my mom. I was like,
Oh,
hey,
okay.
I was about to throw it in the trash, and I was like, hey. Because this is before my parents went back to Hawaii, and I was like,
Okay.
yo, this is what was in the PS3, and they're like, oh, and my mom was like, actually, can I have that? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I just put it in a case and gave it to her. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna use this. I was like, okay, at least it's going to a good home.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome though. That's a pretty great Craigslist story.
yeah, and despite this whole situation that's happening all around us, I found a pretty good deal on a PlayStation 3, and I thought it was a good time. I thought it was a good experience because like not all experiences on Craigslist go like that.
It never. So you got lucky.
Oh yeah, totally. Which leads me into playing Yakuza Dead Souls, which is pretty fun so far. It feels different, but it feels similar. So the game takes place between Yakuza's 4 and 5. I'll try to be as spoiler free as possible for those titles. But the 4 main characters are Akiyama Goda, surprisingly, because he apparently this whole story is non-canon. So this is like if he lived. Is that a spoiler? Shit. If he lived. And now he has
we'll go with it.
Yeah, whatever. He has a giant like.
To be fair, he wasn't even relevant in Kiwami. It was his son. So
that's who you play as, though. His son. Wait,
shoot.
Because he died at the end of that game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Sorry for some because I was like no. Because you know how there's like 2 Godas. There's like the chairman and then there's his son.
Right.
Sorry, I thought you meant that the old one died.
Oh man.
Or sorry, I thought you were referring to the old that.
Oh no, no worries. You play as his son, and he has a machine gun arm now, which is kind of weird.
It's okay. Who cares about canon when it comes to zombies?
Exactly. So. And then you play as, of course, Kiryu and Majima. So the game takes place in Kamurocho, and you start off as Akiyama, and you find that your assistant Hana is sick, and then the next day there's a zombie apocalypse, and everything is like almost destroyed. It's like it happened so fast. Like,
oh wow.
Yeah. And now there's all
I didn't know that. I didn't know specifically that's what happens.
Yeah, I know, right? And now there's all these huge walls all over Kamurocho. Like there's a quarantine zone. And I was like, oh my god, this is too real. There's like, there's people that are not allowed to go in there. Of course, it's like infested with zombies. A lot of the zombies remind me of House of the Dead, which is also produced by Sega, the arcade games. So that, yeah, there's like these giant Resident Evil-esque special and like special mutated zombies. There's like regular zombies. I will say that the shooting mechanic is a little clunky. There are some things that really help you out. Like there's like an auto aim headshot button that if you press one trigger, like if you press L2, it'll automatically aim for whatever zombie's in front of you's head, and then you just press R2 or R1 to like fire the shot. You get instant headshots that way, and it's pretty OP, but I think it's necessary because it's so clunky to play this. Like, just imagine any Yakuza game, but you only have guns to shoot, to use as, like, weapons. And it's awkward. Like, it looks like it's trying to...
Because guns aren't their specialty.
No, yeah, exactly, yeah. It's weird because you just... you have this weird over-the-shoulder camera, like, perspective, but... I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like, yeah, again, just imagine being Kiryu and then trying to beat up multiple enemies like you do with like the brawler style from Yakuza 0, but you have guns and you can only shoot one enemy at a time. Like, it's kind of awkward in that sense. You know, there's pistols, shotguns, machine guns, stuff that helps clear out more enemies. But, you know, I'm still waiting for more of the Yakuza flair when it comes to the combat, because right now I'm still playing as Akiyama, which is the first chapter, and there isn't really too much happening. You're just supposed to do certain things, but I'm waiting for like all the weird wacky weapons to pop up, and so far a lot of the staples characters are there, like Kotaro, like Komaki, the old man who teaches you like all those moves.
All the moves.
Yeah,
yep.
Komaki's there. He shows up pretty early in the game to tell you that he's there, and I was like, okay. And then Kamiyama, the guy that mods weapons, is there, of course.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he's got to be there. I feel like that's, you know, every game has to have him in some capacity. Town looks the same. It's just reused assets from Yakuza 4.
Yes.
So there's nothing really new about that, although Don Quixote's there, something I missed from Yakuza 7. If you want to hear me rant about how it's not included, you can listen to our Yakuza 7 spoiler cast. So it was refreshing to hear the song and go to that spot and see the store. It's pretty cool overall. Like, I think it's fun. There are, again, some things I don't like about it, such as the clunky controls when it comes to combat, but it's got the sub-stories, you know, it's got all the weird, wacky sub-story characters in it. Like, there's a whole sub-story dedicated to like horror themed plots. Like, there's the couple, there's the nerd, there's the, like the religious girl, there's like, you know, the greedy guy, the scary guy, stuff like that, the jokester. So yeah, that's like one of the few sub-stories I've done so far. But yeah, it's weird because there's a zombie survival killing aspect to this Yakuza funny, serious toned game. It's a weird concept, but I'm still trying to digest it, and once I finish playing it, I think I will have a better perspective on how it feels overall and where I think it sits in the Yakuza tier list.
For sure.
Yeah, so that is something I am working on playing, and I will have more information once I get further into the game.
Very nice.
What about you, Lisa? What's going on in your gaming sphere?
All right. So I just want to do a quick Animal Crossing update.
Yes.
That for Bunny Day this year, I gotta admit, I like the Bunny Day items this year that they're selling at Nook Store, because the Bunny Day items, which just started today as of this podcast, they're season agnostic in a way. So it's like they are for Bunny Day and they are for spring, but it's not as Easter egg obnoxious looking. They're items that you can pass off for any season.
Cool.
Like, for example, they have there's a planter, and then there's like a hedge, like a topiary, where it's like a carved of a bunny. But in a way, I was just like, actually, like I could use this for someone's garden. So it's like the items feel more I can actually like incorporate to my island on a regular, which is what I really like about it. And then Bunny Day this year is only 1 week instead of, I think, 2 weeks like last year, because God help Bunny Day. That was way too long. And then, okay, so one of the big things I've been doing is it's officially been 1 year of Animal Crossing in 1 year since I played Animal Crossing. And last month they introduced the Mario warp pipes, and what I've been doing is I've been working on a plan to redesign my island.
Ooh.
Because 1 year's passed and I felt like changing up my layout a bit, but I kind of didn't know what I wanted because I'm kind of like go with the flow sometimes. Like I'll create something and then everything comes together. But then this time, the reason I'm kind of planning it out is because I'm trying to plan it out so it's like when you look at the map, it's like the topographical map like looks like it's forming like different shapes, if that makes sense.
Yes.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm kind of like more meticulous in trying to plan this out, because I'm trying to shape something specific. And then I'm also going to incorporate the warp pipes. So I actually have this, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I have a plaza, and the plaza has every single store, everything you need to just buy stuff. I might move it to the back of the island and then just have warp pipes transport you over there without having to walk. But these are things that I'm still thinking out. But I'm hoping that I kind of finish like my basis plan by like April, and then I can actually start like maneuvering things around.
Look at you, town planner. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So that's what's happening with me in Animal Crossing.
Nice.
And then the bulk of my time has been playing Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, let's hear it.
All right. So this is update number 2. Life update. I have a new TV.
Hey.
And now I have a Samsung OLED 4K. It's a significant impact on my personal life. I clearly was missing out because everything looks amazing, not just on my PlayStation, but watching regular television.
Wow.
Though, what I will say is, the first time I played it, I had to actually spend like a whole hour watching YouTube videos to kind of like fully grasp, like what dynamic range was, and having the perfect settings for dynamic range.
How big is your TV?
This one is 40.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, so it's like it's not too big because this is in my room.
Yeah.
But it is a significant upgrade for me, at least. And like looks way better. My God. But I had to watch dynamic range is one of those things where you read about it all the time with specs and you're like, oh, that makes sense. But then when you actually put it into play, you're like, shit, I actually don't know what any of this means. I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
So, because what happened was I was trying to infiltrate a Mongol territory, and I like to do Ghost for 75% of infiltrating and taking back territory, and then the last 25% I do Samurai.
Oh,
but then, so that's my normal strategy. But because I didn't have like the specific setting, because I kind of just did a plug and chug, like I plugged in my PlayStation and then I played it and I was like, it's pretty. But then when you're lurking in the shadows and I didn't have the correct settings because all the blacks blended in with each other. It was just like one big black screen when Jin was hiding, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta figure this out.
Right. Wow, that's
yeah, I gotta figure out the settings because this is not working out. That being said, it looks great at night, but it's for the daytime. I had to figure out really like the whole dynamic range, and so I was watching videos for like an hour just trying to figure, because it's like I you can change the settings, but I wanted to actually fully understand what the hell was going on. And finally I changed my settings. Everything looks great. All the shadows I can see very well, and we're in business.
Nice.
So it's fantastic. I don't know if I said this, but it's also improved my TV watching experience. It's fabulous.
I bet every show just looks like better than it did before, like 10 times.
Oh my God. I thought Bake Off looked fine, but Bake Off on 4K? Woo! Like, I never knew this was possible.
That's awesome.
How, like really, really fabulous looking. And then I started a TV show called Ozark recently.
Oh, cool.
And that looks great. So that's like kind of like it was a good tester TV show. Because it's like has like some significant action in it, and a lot of it is in kind of like a natural environment because you're in the Ozark Mountains, and like a lot throughout the TV show. So yeah, it looks great. I'm really loving it.
Awesome. I'm really happy to hear that.
Yes. Now I'm pretty deep into Act 2 now. So where I'm at, we saved the uncle.
Hey.
Right now, I'm freeing all the farmsteads so that I can get the 2 final musician armors. So I've pretty much completed all of the musician quests. The final 2 ones are the ones where you have to defeat the Armsteads and get keys to unlock the different samurai armors.
Yes.
So I'm doing that right now. I have 2 farmsteads left, like 1 each in both region. So I'm actually really close to finishing that. And then
okay.
Yeah. And then after that, in terms of the main storyline, I have 1 more leg before we can tackle Castle Shimura, and I have to get my family armor. So not the musician armor, but like my actual clan armor. I have to get that before, and then that's the final thing I have to do before the Act 2 finale.
Right, the clan Shimura armor. Oh no, clan Sakai armor.
Or yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That is a cool armor. Okay, awesome.
Yeah. So I'm really close to finishing Act 2. Yeah, I'm very deep into this game. I think I've already mentioned that I have plans on 100%ing this. I think we're on track so far. So I'm looking forward to that. In terms of Act 1 and the last mission of Act 1, when we're invading Castle Kaneda, it was a really fun mission because I very much improved my techniques, and at that point I felt very comfortable with all the stances and all of the things I've unlocked so far, and I felt comfortable sneaking around, like doing this and that, and then, boy, was I bamboozled. I was betrayed. There was deceit in that final battle. That final battle, by the way, it sucks because that was a beautiful final battle of Act 1. It was gorgeous. You're in a lily pad pond. There's lanterns. It's nighttime. It looks great. But I had a person turn on me, and I wasn't expecting that because I very much thought that person was cool. But you know what? Things happen in video games.
Yeah, you're like, what the fuck? Like, where were you?
Of all the people in my head that I was like, I wonder who might turn on me to the Mongols, that was not the person I was expecting to turn on me.
Yep. Right?
So I was especially upset when that happened.
We were friends.
Exactly.
What the hell?
I was like, bitch, what the fuck?
We go way back.
I know.
Like literally. Oh my god.
So, yeah, it was I was upset to say the least. But we move forward from this.
Doesn't it feel like you're nearing the end of the game because of all the stuff that you're doing?
So the only reason why I don't feel like that anymore is because I know there's a whole, the final act is a whole top part of the island map that I haven't unlocked yet. That's the only reason why I know that I'm not at the end. But it's like, this is one of those games where if you just did straight the main mission, you could finish this game in 15 hours.
Absolutely.
If all you did was the straight mission. And this game is long because I'm literally doing everything.
Yep. Take your time.
I know, and it's totally worth it. In regards to and just on top of that, in regards to techniques, like at this point, I've unlocked the moon stance. I have every stance to fight the Mongols now. I've unlocked the technique where I can chain stealth 3 people at a time.
Yes.
Which is honestly one of the best ghost tactics that you could possibly have. Like, this is a... If you need a technique that will help you get, like, that will take you further in the game for Jin, this 3-chain stealth is like it's one of the ones for sure. I love it so much.
There's quite a bit of enemies that stand together too. Exactly.
It's made infiltrating farmsteads and getting back my territory so much easier. One of the noticeable things about Act 2 is definitely the geography. It's a lot more marsh-like, and you know, Act 1 had a lot of mountains too. Like when you, like, you know, with the fox, like with all the foxes' dens, they're like all at the top of mountains that you have to go up. But Act 2, that region is a little bit different in terms of the mountains, because it's like, I feel like there's less room for me to take my horse and just like yeet off the mountain, if that makes sense. Like in Act 1, I could just like choose any side after I go to a fox den and then just like go down the mountain. Whereas in Act 2, you can go down the mountain, but it's more cliffy. There's bamboo trees all over, so you actually have to go around the bamboo. And it, like, there's definitely more exhibition for Act 2 in terms of traveling. At least until you unlock all the fast travel for like the towns you visit.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. But you can't do as much mountain free-for-all as you did in Act 1, which is fine. And then I liked a lot of the new characters introduced, like Torio the warrior monk, or Norio the warrior monk. He's great.
Yep.
He's super badass. If he betrays me, it's over. It's game over for me.
I know, right? He's such a real one too. You're like, God damn it, don't do anything.
I'm just like, boy, if you also betray me, you know, I can't recover from this.
It's gonna be so satisfying killing you.
I know, right? In terms of the main character missions, the one that I'm invested in the most so far is Sensei Ishikawa and Tomoe, because I like how this one of course Tomoe like betrays Ishikawa, turned on the Mongols, is teaching a whole army of archers, you know. But it's also clear in this that Ishikawa is not perfect either. So I kind of like that, there obviously one side is towards the Mongols, but then also Tomoe feels a sense of like betrayal from Ishikawa as well. So I'm enjoying how that mission is playing out. I think it's a good side story for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I like that it shows how Ishikawa Sensei is like still human, you know. And
yes.
In this pursuit of perfection, there's a lot of things that he had to sacrifice, a lot of like ways he had to do things. It's kind of like the movie Whiplash, where, you know.
Oh, yes, that's a good one.
Yeah, where you have this pursuit of perfection, but you're just kind of abusive in a way. Not kind of, you're really abusive.
Yes.
And you just want everything done the way that you want it to, and you'll stop at nothing to make sure and ensure that your vision comes true.
It's a great comparison.
Yeah,
especially with the teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
And J.K. Simmons' character.
Oh yeah.
Very, very accurate.
Yeah, I like how, you know, whenever Ishikawa like goes out and does something and like talks about how she did this, she did that, she's wrong for doing that, Jin's like, wait, you're actually the person in the wrong for doing that to her.
Yeah, exactly.
he's like, no, I'm right, and Jin's like, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think at this point for Act 2, I've done all of the missions because there was like a line of dialogue that implies that that's kind of it for Act 2.
Yeah, exactly. So, it's like continue on to Act 3 to get more. Like I
know.
I love how engaging all these side stories are, because it just makes you want to do them more and more and more and just keep going, because it feels like part of the actual main story, you know?
And it's great that it expands the island too, because I'm serious when I say this. If they didn't do that, I would have probably done all the missions, in one go in
Yeah,
that region, in Act 1's region.
exactly.
And I also agree, because these are the people that join you on your expositions to infiltrate all the castles. And I like how you're getting all the backstory, not just with those characters, but like the characters' families, or like the characters, in this case, like the character student. And
Right.
I appreciate how the storyline's playing out.
Right.
Yeah. This game is way better than The Last of Us 2. So that's all I gotta say.
Hot takes, but I have to agree with you because
Is it really a hot take? I don't know.
well, I mean, okay, there are people that will widely defend and harshly defend The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
But I feel like there are people that are just like, hey, this game sucks. But like they're saying it sucks for the wrong reasons,
Yeah.
And I honestly agree with you because I played Ghost of Tsushima right after Last of Us 2 because I was so sad and I was like, dude, I cannot be thinking about like this. Like I need to play something that is a lot happier. Luckily, Ghost of Tsushima was there. Started playing it. I was like, dude, I feel like such a fucking hero right now. Like, this is amazing. Like, my conversations with my friends who also played it were like, yo, this is so fun. Like, it is so awesome.
It's great. It's a fantastic game. I love it so much.
One funny anecdote I have is that in the middle of the section in Act 2, I remember I was like, okay, I've been taking over all these little like farmsteads and making sure that everyone is okay. And like I've been having fun playing the Ghost. And by the way, I've also been I play the Ghost mostly when I liberate these farmsteads. And I do Samurai the same amount of time as you do. So I think it's more fun to do Ghost.
It's fun to do Ghost. I like using smoke bombs and trying to see what I can do. And then I smoke bombs and then assassinate, or what I'll do is like I'll do some smoke bomb wind chime combination and try to shoot like wasps nets. It's just I like stealth a lot.
Yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yes.
And so that being said, I was like, all right, there's this town in the middle of the map. I'm just gonna go there, ride to it, and take it over. I go there, and it's like, this is a restricted area. You're not supposed to be here right now. And I was like, what? And then the screen is like flashing, and all these like fucking like Mongols just start shooting me. Like they immediately get like hone in on my position, and they just start shooting me and trying to attack me, and I die. And I was like, dude, what the hell? Found out that was a story mission that I'm supposed to do later, and didn't realize that. And this is like I wasn't even there yet. I was like still in the beginning stages of Act 2, and I had no idea. I just wanted to help liberate an area. Turns out I couldn't.
Yep.
But, lesson learned, right?
Yeah, lesson learned. Speaking, kind of similar on that topic, when you unlock the grappling hook, I realize now that there were 6 missions in Act 1 that I shouldn't have done until I got the grappling hook.
Oh, yeah, I know, right? I did those too. I had no idea. I had no idea. I still did it anyways, and I completed it.
Me neither. I, like 2 of the musician quests for sure would have been easier if you had a grappling hook, and I didn't know. I didn't know what I'm doing, so it's funny how when I finally got the hook, I was like, oh shit, well, that would have made this easy, but here I am.
Right? I was all like, oh, that's what that's for. Well, now.
Oh, yeah.
It's too late for that.
Yeah, too late.
Well, regardless, we still did it without the hook, so it goes to show you that we can still do it.
Yes, you can still do it without the hook, for sure.
How about the samurai battles? Have you been doing those?
In terms of duels and whatnot, I've been having a great time with duels, especially because I've mastered parrying more. Parry, like, huge technique for the samurai is the parry, because with the parry, if you do it successfully, you don't even have to, because you know how the enemy has an armor that you kind of have to break until you can actually do damage.
Yes.
It's like with the parry, you don't have to break the armor anymore. It's fantastic.
I know, right? It's so good.
I know. And at this point, on top of that, I have Heavenly Strike. So sometimes I break the armor and then just do a Heavenly Strike and call it a day.
Yep.
So I'm really excited for that. In terms of stance, and for the samurai also, in terms of like stances, what's made things fun is unlocking the wind stance. The wind stance is the one that's against not spheres. I can't talk today. Spears.
It's Sunday. I get it. I couldn't talk either. It's fine. Yes,
Yeah.
spears. Yes, spears. Yeah, I got you.
Spears.
I got you.
Spears. And that's a really good stance because there's a lot of counter moves that come with that. And I'm enjoying water and wind a lot. I've unlocked the moon stance, but I don't think I've fleshed it out enough to really get its use. Although I do know for the moon stance, there's more kicks. That's but that's kind of as far as I've gotten so far. But I am enjoying the samurai duels. There was this side quest in Act 2 where you are and it was also a musician one, I think, where you have to figure out the spirit that is kind of killing off a bunch of people.
Oh.
And then you go to this garden in Act 2, and it's a garden in Old Yarikawa, and it's a gorgeous garden because there's fireflies flying, and then you have to duel a demon spirit. That was one of my favorite samurai battles, for sure, aside from the Act 1 samurai battle. So
Yeah, that was really cool.
yeah, that was a great mission. And yeah, I'm having a good time both with Samurai and Ghost.
Good. Nice.
Yes. The last thing I want to talk about with Ghost of Tsushima, which is going to be our transition into the news, is that there's going to be a Ghost of Tsushima movie I pulled this off of Kotaku. Sony Pictures and PlayStation Productions are developing a film adaptation due to the success of Ghost of Tsushima, directed by Chad Stahelski, who did John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
And all I have to say to that is no. Nope.
I agree. It's really good as a game, and it already feels like a movie as a game. I don't need to watch it.
Just no.
Yeah, I think it's fine the way it is. It doesn't need to be a movie. Not every game needs to be a movie. Just make your own thing. What the hell?
No.
Yep. Well, continuing on the video game movie train, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 teaser came out, and it just
I didn't see the teaser yet.
It just shows the Sonic the Hedgehog logo, and then a 2 appears that's yellow, and then 2 tails come out of the bottom part of the 2. So to signify that Tails, the twin-tailed fox in the Sonic series, is going to be part of the sequel, which is kind of a spoiler if you haven't watched the end credit scene of the Sonic the Hedgehog live-action movie. But at this point, I feel like most people have seen it, and so you know what's going to happen. But Tails is going to be a significant part of the sequel. The music that was playing during the teaser was a remixed version of Emerald Hill Zone, and I know this because I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 extensively as a kid on the Sega Genesis. My dad had both Sonic and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on the Genesis, and those are the only Sonic games he ever had on the Genesis, but it was enough to inspire my brother and I to continue investing in Sega consoles, that being the Dreamcast, and that being the only time we ever invested in a Sega console when it died. But regardless, the first movie wasn't bad. The sequel might be pretty good, so we'll see. Carrey, James Marsden, Jim Carrey, Ben Schwartz are all returning, so we're just gonna see what happens and who's gonna voice Tails.
I was pleasantly surprised by the Sonic movie. I thought it was pretty fun. It was a solid, pretty solid video game adaptation. I had a good time watching it. I thought Ben Schwartz was a really good Sonic.
Yeah, Yeah, it was good. And with Detective Pikachu having just came out as well, like that wasn't bad either. That was pretty good. Like
Yes,
another
I
video.
love Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, it was another video game. It wasn't based directly on the Detective Pikachu game, but actually, no, it was. It technically was directly based on the game. But of course, there were a lot of elements changed so that it would better fit the cinematic tone of the film. But uh, Sonic, Pikachu in movies, pretty crazy.
Yes.
Let's talk about Discord and Microsoft and what's happening there.
Yeah. Microsoft is interested in buying Discord for $10 billion, which is a lot. And based off of some stats that came from Bloomberg, Discord has a valuation of $7 billion. So that, like Discord is a pretty big company. And in a way it could kind of handle itself on its own. Like I know there's been like a side that's saying, well, Discord is capable of going public by itself. Now, with any company, like for example Minecraft, to be bought off of Microsoft, and just essentially like retire for life, like I don't blame the CEO or the creators if that's kind of the way they want to go. But I know a lot of people have been kind of debating what this purchase means for Discord, and I read an interesting rumor and wanted to know your thoughts on it.
Okay.
So I heard a rumor that the purchase of Discord is not necessarily or specifically to capitalize on the software for like game streaming and game discussion. It's actually buying it so that it can be a competitor against Slack and become a more general chat.
I
So
see.
that is a rumor that I read, that purchasing Discord is not just going to be a purchase for it as it's used in gaming. It's going to try to become a general chat so that it can be a competitor.
Who owns Slack?
That's a good question. I don't know who owns Slack.
Okay. Because I think they got bought out a while ago.
Mm-hmm. Salesforce owns Slack.
Oh, snap. Okay, wow, that's big. That's pretty big.
Yeah.
Wow, okay, so a couple things. I had not heard that rumor before, so thank you for enlightening me. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's not cool, but it's pretty cool to know that's something that's being considered.
It makes it's like with that context, if that rumor is true, it makes more sense.
Right. But like Discord is so ingrained in the gaming community, and not just gaming. There's Discord is used for other stuff, but it's kind of been touted as like a be all end all gaming platform when it comes to communication, at least.
Yes.
I for one love Discord, and I prefer it over Slack. I just think that these little like rooms that are available in Discord are much better than Zoom and Slack combined. I just think that Discord is a platform that anyone can hop onto and easily navigate because it's just that user friendly. Of course, if you want to be more complicated, you can be a super user and go into the back end of a server and like do all these changes, add all these bots, make sure that things happen the way they do. But I mean, for the average user, I feel like Discord is easy to navigate. I have a lot of non-gamer friends who use Discord. I created a server so that we could all stay in touch during the pandemic, and it's worked out pretty well because none of them play video games, I believe, as much as I do. So for them to be able to navigate the server and just be like, oh, what does this do? Oh, I just click on that. Oh, now I'm in the room. Cool. Like, it's so much better than like making a meeting invite and then having to send that out to people, where you could just be like, yo, everyone meet here at this time. Okay, cool. We're all here. Like you just save on so many clicks and so much copying and pasting that you have to do. So the other thing is that I feel like 10 billion is a lot of money. And I feel like, I don't know. I don't want Microsoft to buy them because I feel like they'll just kill it or integrate it into Skype or something. I feel like they need to keep it separate. if they do buy it.
I forgot they have Skype.
Yeah, and they basically exactly see a lot of people did, and they destroyed Skype. Skype is like useless now. Nobody I know uses Skype anymore. Like nobody.
Skype was like the #1 video chat for a while too.
Oh, a good long time. Like everyone was
Yeah.
using it, and then now everyone's on Zoom. You know, like Zoom is the next hot thing. Something might replace it. Who knows? Maybe Discord. I don't know, but I'm certainly looking at Discord as kind of a replacement for a lot of things in my life because I don't know. It's just that all-in-one tool that helps everything, you know, in my life be connected and stay connected. So, and the last thing I want to say is, Discord also did mention that they might just go public instead of trying to sell themselves to a company, which I think is a good move too. But you know, there's a lot of risks and you know, a lot less room for stuff that you want to do in the future. But we'll see. Like, I don't know. With a parent company owning you, you have a lot more budget, but you have a lot more constraints. Like, there's a lot more things that they say and tell you that you can do. But with going public, I feel like you have a lot more freedom, but it's a lot more like scarier as a company because
it is.
You rely so much on everybody, like buying your stock and you know making sure that your stock is good, and your company can fail if you're not careful about that. But you know, you're being owned by someone does give you the benefit of having a fallback and having that company bail you out if something happens. But we'll see. Like I don't want Discord to change because there's a lot of integrations with it that I like, such as like YouTube, PlayStation. I don't want PlayStation to go away. If they're owned by Microsoft, they might just be like, yeah, no more PlayStation. So we'll see what happens.
A lot of companies have been trying to buy off Discord for the past few years, and they've said no. They've been pretty strong in rejecting a lot of offers. So I understand if 10 billion is a lot. So I you know, like the people in Mojang, for example, like are set for life. So I don't blame them. Like, I don't know what the CEO's values are. If the CEO's values are, we want this to be just kind of its independent thing, Discord gets big, and then maybe Discord can buy a bunch of other smaller companies. Maybe that's what the CEO wants to do. Or maybe the CEO was trying to make a huge company and has been wanting to be bought out, but is just waiting for the right price. So I don't know what the CEO values because that just hasn't been revealed. And then this is also a rumor. I do think that the fact that, you know, they released the news that they're interested in buying it, it's like they're trying to get Discord to make a move. So I think we're going to see a move in the next month or two.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
Potential PS3 store closure.
Yes.
So there's a rumor floating around that PlayStation might close the PS3 store soon. Now, we've seen this happen time and time again with other companies like Nintendo, where they close the Wii shop. And this is just simply because there aren't users using it anymore, and it's an outdated system, and they don't want to spend the money to keep the infrastructure alive to be able to host this network for a small amount of users. From a business perspective, It makes sense. But in the Wii's case, it's really sad because now you have all these digital titles that were once available and playable in that state that are now unavailable to everybody. And it's kind of like some games just died because there are some digital only games in the Wii that you can now never purchase anymore. A lot of retro titles as well that are just gone because the Wii shop is just disappeared. Now, this is going to suck for a lot of games that have not been converted over to the PlayStation 4. And it kind of brings up the question about digital archiving, because there's really no way to preserve these games anymore without the companies porting them to every new platform. You know, everyone complains about all these ports, like the Enhanced Edition, the PS5 Edition, etc., etc. But I think it is a good thing because, one, it does introduce these games to new audiences, but two, it improves on and allows the preservation of certain titles to continue on within the newer ecosystem. So
agreed.
It sucks because there's as I mentioned before, Yakuza Dead Souls is only available on PS3. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them, namely, being that it was poorly sold, and PlayStation / RGG Studios at the time was probably like, we don't want to port this to future consoles because it's sold terribly. We recognize that it's a bad game, and it almost killed the franchise in the United States. So that's totally fine. That's okay. But again, that's one of the few games that you can only play and get on the PS3 that you cannot play anywhere else. And physical copies are hard to come by for that game. So once the PlayStation 3 store disappears, you're not going to be able to get that, and it's kind of scary.
There are 2 games off the top of my head that are from the PSP, PS Vita world that I think by closing, like, because you can't buy a PSP and a PS Vita anymore, so I understand why they would close it down, but it would be a shame if they didn't bring it to PlayStation 4 or 5. So the first one is huge. It's Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. And that game gives a whole backstory to one of the main characters of Final Fantasy VII, which I would actually argue is important to the Final Fantasy VII Remake as well. And, the Final Fantasy VII Remake has introduced so many different people to the game who wouldn't play the original game.
Right.
And Crisis Core talks about one of those characters. And I can see like people who played the Final Fantasy VII Remake are now going down the rabbit hole of like, oh, what's all the content for Final Fantasy VII while I wait for part 2. The second one is Persona 4 Golden, which is the better version of Persona 4. And now that people have played Persona 5 and people are playing a lot of the Persona 5 expansions, they might be interested in going back and, what's available? Oh, Persona 4. Oh, there's a Persona 4 Golden, which is an elevated version of Persona 4. But Persona 4 is only available on the Vita, and then weirdly it's available on Windows. But it's like not Nintendo, but PlayStation and Atlas haven't even made it available on PlayStation 4 or 5 yet. But
I see.
It's just this is fine if they close it down. As long as a lot of the games that are only specific to these consoles eventually are available on 4 or 5. On top of that, I was reading this article that a lot of indie developers, they release their games on the Vita because Vita had a specific deal for indie developers. And they were specifically helping them out, and they were allowed to port their stuff to it and then even give itself a cover and all of these different things. So a lot of smaller games are supported through the Vita, into which their games are not able to be on PlayStation 4 or 5. I feel like PlayStation has thought about this. It would be a shame if you didn't bring Crisis Core or Persona 4 Golden to the newer platforms.
Yeah. It's just, they're going to fall in the same space as Nintendo, failing to continue the legacy of certain games without having, what's it called? The moral drive to do it. I don't know if that's the right phrase to say, but
yeah.
Again, it just goes back to preserving the games, and I don't know, having to rely, well, not necessarily rely, but having to think about how users are doing it. Just people, ripping the game, putting it online for people to play on emulators. That, it's pretty cool. The internet is an amazing place for that to happen. But at the same time, you'd expect that the company themselves would be preserving the game by just making a new release. And here you have these companies complaining, like Nintendo, for example, saying, oh, Super Smash Bros. Melee, you guys gotta stop playing the modded version online. It's well, you didn't release it for any future consoles, and totally understand why, because there's going to be a new version every time of Super Smash Bros. But you're not making money off of the game. The only time you should care is if you're making money off of the game. So PlayStation should not be complaining, or PlayStation should not be taking legal action, and I don't think they are against any like rippers or hackers. But
yeah,
if it does happen, I mean, shoot, you should have did it yourself. Like they were 2 steps ahead of you.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. I know that they're supposed to announce this soon, that it's closing in July, but at least they'll give fair warning if they're really not going to bring it back to any other place that people have time to buy all the stuff that they want.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So moving on to GTA 5 Online. So there's a big issue before where when loading into GTA 5 Online, it would take 2 to maybe 10, 15 minutes, depending on your computer, where the game would just scan the files to ensure that you weren't hacking. And it would literally scan all the files, and it would take a long time. But there was a user named Toaster CX who changed the code for the game to allow 70% increased load speed into multiplayer. So what took 2 to 10 to 15 minutes now takes 25 seconds or less, depending on your machine. They just eliminated something in the game's code to allow faster loading times. Something that took years that Rockstar didn't do. Although, Rockstar has this program where they reward people who find bugs in games. In this case, it wasn't necessarily a bug, it was an improvement. And Rockstar paid this user $10,000, which is pretty cool for something that he did for free.
Yes.
So I thought that was pretty noteworthy in that I tested it myself, and I was kind of amazed at how long it took to load into multiplayer, because I definitely had that issue when I was playing a lot of GTA 5 Online a couple years ago.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it goes to show you that, leave it to the users to figure out.
I was about to say,
yeah.
leave it to us.
To fix your stuff, to upload your games. So moving
especially
on,
because considering that Grand Theft Auto Online is getting all the support. So.
Right, and just the fact that it took so long is kind of sad, because this game is in no way ending anytime soon. Like, it's still going on. They released a whole DLC with a whole other island that you can go to, which is kind of cool. But once GTA 6 comes out, GTA Online is going to be irrelevant the moment that happens, unless they continue GTA Online just somehow and with the same engine or whatever. We'll see. But the Bethesda and Microsoft deal closed, so now Bethesda is officially part of the Microsoft family.
Cool.
Some titles might be exclusive, but I think eventually they're just going to make all titles exclusive to Microsoft, aka Steam, as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
There was a presentation from Square Enix called Square Enix Presents, where they talk about the following games. I will not go into all these games in detail, but I think from the titles, people might be able to tell what they are. Some of them, at least. So there's Outriders, Tomb Raider Definitive Survivor Trilogy, Just Cause Mobile, Hitman Sniper Assassins, Space Invaders, Toho Spell Bubble, Darius Cosmic Revelation, Bubble Bobble 4 Friends, Black Panther is going to be the Avengers video game, Balan Wonderworld, Life is Strange, True Colors, and Forspoken.
So for Life is Strange, does that mean it's just a new episode? Because that Life is Strange is like a series, right? Kind of like.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Like from the trailer, I guess it's a new episode. I'm not familiar with the franchise enough to give you a confident answer, but I could say maybe, and also
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then more PlayStation stuff. So they have this program called Play at Home where they release free games. The last one I think was Ratchet and Clank. That was like the big one they released. And it's still actually available for download at the timing of the recording of this podcast, which is March 28th, 2021. So I actually grabbed that when I found out that it was still free, and I was like, oh shoot. So I got Ratchet and Clank, but the new ones they announced that are available right now for keeping forever are Subnautica, Enter the Gungeon, Abzu, The Witness, Res Infinite, and the VR titles Astrobot Rescue Mission, Moss, Thumper, and Paper Beast, with Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition coming out next month in April.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty exciting.
Yes.
Did you grab those titles, Elisa?
No, not yet. But I saw the announcement. So I'm probably gonna grab The Witness.
Nice.
Yeah.
You might as well just grab all of them and just not download them. I mean, they could just be in your library.
That's actually a good point. I might as well get all of them.
So,
The Witnesses was the one off the top of my head that like really intrigued me.
Yeah, same actually.
Yeah.
And Subnautica, I'm pretty curious about that one too. So I found out, pro tip, the faster way to add these games to your library is just go to the PlayStation website, click on the Play at Home button, and it'll take you to like a list of all the games that are available for free that I just mentioned. Just open all of them in a new tab, press get the game, and it'll just be added to your library. It won't download the game, it'll just add it to your library. So that's like faster than going into the store and doing it individually. Just pro tip for everybody, in case you want to do that. And the final news topic I have is Zack Snyder's Justice League was released. We both watched it. It is 4 hours long, and it's
basically a mini-series. It's not a movie. People, this is not a movie. This is a miniseries.
Yeah, every act is an episode. Just think about it that way.
Yes.
It's
like watching Watchmen.
Right? There's like, what, 6, 7 acts in the whole movie? I forget.
7, including the epilogue.
Okay. Got it. And it is in 4:3 ratio, and this is to, at the beginning it says to preserve Zack Snyder's creative vision or something like that. But I also think
my question is, what is the creative vision? Like
IMAX.
Like,
it's better formatted for IMAX when it comes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was waiting for that because I see the articles all the time.
Yeah.
It's to preserve the creative vision. I'm just like, but tell me what the creative vision is.
What is it?
What is it? Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So people are just waiting for that to go out to theaters. So we'll see.
Yes. It is long, but the movie, okay. Justice League, the very first one, was so boring or just like so nonsensical that 1, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep through it. And 2, I don't remember a single thing that happened to it. So after watching Zack Snyder's, although in general, like there's other superhero movies I prefer to the Justice League, I thought that this was okay. I did appreciate the Zack Snyder version for actually fleshing out Flash and Cyborg's backstory. Yes. That's probably the best part of the cut, and that I find like you finally kind of get to know all the characters. It's fine. It's better than Wonder Woman 2.
Yes.
Better than all the Batman. Better than Wonder Woman 2 and the Batman movies, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not Batman movies, the Superman movies.
I was like, wait, those Batman movies are pretty good.
Yeah. Better than the Superman movies. Hot take? I do like the Avengers more, but I think this is better than Ultron. But
okay.
that might be a hot take. So
well, there you go. I mean, I haven't seen Ultron in a while. I can't really say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but wow. Okay, cool. Wow, that's high praise for this version.
I mean, it's one of those things where I was entertained. Like it was fine.
Yeah. I thought it was good too. It kept me on.
I was fully entertained that I wasn't for the first one.
Yeah, exactly. The part that got me laughing was every time they showed Wonder Woman, anytime she did something, they'd play that like that music.
Oh my gosh!
I was laughing so hard every single time.
I remember that music for Batman versus Superman as kind of like that was Wonder Woman's theme music, but then we're really beating the dead horse over that over
Every
that,
time they
theme
showed her,
music.
they would just play it. It's
Yes.
like, why?
Yeah. Like, let's get some variety. Like, I get it. That's the Wonder Woman theme, but come on.
Yeah.
There's been some pretty great memes out of that too.
Yes,
So.
I love the memes. It's so good. Cool. Yeah, we both enjoyed it. So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out. Let us know your thoughts.
Yes.
We'd love to hear about it because I think this redeemed a lot of the DC Extended Universe stuff, and I think it's a good. I think this is showing that the movies are gonna go in a good direction as long as Zack Snyder is involved in some capacity.
Yeah, although I think Zack Snyder also said that he's skeptical of even making a second one, so this might be all we get,
and that's fine.
But yeah, which is fine. Anything changes once money is introduced. We'll see what happens. We just don't know yet.
Right. And separate side note, another DC Extended Universe movies trailer got dropped recently, which is The Suicide Squad, not to be confused with 2016 or 2017's Suicide Squad. It's just called The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. So this one has more of a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe to it, judging by the trailer. I won't go too into it, but you got Idris Elba, John Cena, and returning you have Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, as well as Captain Boomerang. I forgot the actor's name, but Sam Worthington or whatever his name is. That dude.
Yeah.
From YouTube, from John Dasco, we have glad to see the Ghost episode finally roll in. Great stuff, guys. Thank you, man.
Thank you, and we hope that by you listening to this episode, there's more Ghost content via part of Act 2, and I'd say that give me 2 weeks, I might finish the game, like at least the main story in 2 weeks.
Yes, and I would love to do a spoiler cast on the game.
Oh yeah, totally.
The only way to do that would be to play the whole game over again so I can refresh my memory.
Oh my god. Well, I can tell you everything. Really, like, the main storyline is actually pretty straightforward and linear. It's talking about the characters that you're recruiting on your squad. That's kind of the bulk of, I'd say, the spoiler cast. So
yeah,
and the betrayal and the deceit and the bamboozlement by this one character who will not be named, but
Okay, yeah, for sure. I will let you lead the conversation to help me refresh my mind, and I will.
Yes.
I would love to talk and dish about all these bamboozle betrayals.
Yes, of course.
So John Dasco, I hope you're going to be there for that. That will be coming out in the next month or two.
Yes.
So next question or comment. Yeah, next question / comment from Cherry Goblin / Dave97 on our Discord. Have you ever experienced games with AI that you feel is rubber banding or cheating? I am playing through the cabaret mode in Yakuza 0, nice, and I had to turn the difficulty down to easy in order to beat the Jupiter Club rival battle. It was insanely broken AI that would instantly win.
Now, because I'm dumb. When he says rubber banding, that's latency, right?
So when I think of rubber banding, something that comes to mind is Mario Kart 8, and this might be a good example too, where if you're in first place, certain characters are designated by the AI to always be in that spot and always try to take you on. So let's say you're doing poorly in Mario Kart 8, right? And then you get this awesome item like a star or maybe 3 mushrooms, and you use it and you boost all the way up to first place, right? And you try to get as far ahead as possible. Let's say you drift every corner, you use every mushroom item that you get from blocks, and you use every advantage to get. But no matter what you do, the AI will always be behind you. Some way, they're always going to find a way to catch up to you. Like, doesn't matter what car it is, it's going to find a way to get up to you at an insane amount of speed. Like, the game's going to say, okay, the player is now in first place and it's too far ahead. So now we're going to take these AI characters and move them closer to the player. And we're, by giving these AI players certain items and weapons to allow them to hinder your progress or move their progress up to be closer to you. So either red shells, the blue shell, or let's say like, again, stars or mushrooms, right? So that's rubber banding. Rubber banding is when the AI sees that you're too far ahead and they do anything they can to get closer to you or hinder your progress. I totally feel it. Chariot Goblin. That Jupiter Club rival battle is tough. say the least. And
Yes.
yes, I have experienced this, as I just mentioned, in Mario Kart 8. But I think just a lot of racing games in general have this rubber banding technique as well.
I don't play too many racing games, so I don't think I've had too much experience with rubber banding in that sense. Though there are a lot of games where I feel like the AI is cheating.
every game the AI is cheating.
Every game actually, every game. But that specific example, I can't think of anything at the top of my head right now.
Yeah. No worries. So, Cherry Dolphin, I hope that everything goes well. Hope you beat all of the cabaret clubs. I hope you get all the money. Good luck.
Oh, and then he also says, side note, Hibiki is the best hostess.
Oh, that's cute. She's pretty cute.
I don't remember what she looks like.
There's a picture on our Discord if you want to take a look. But thank you for adding that side comment. I totally did not see that.
Yes.
So we have one last question, but after that we have a rapid fire question segment from PJ Sucks. But so Brig is still too OP. Please nerf says from our Discord. How did you two meet each other?
We are ex-coworkers. We are ex-coworkers who started a week apart from each other. Jeremy started at the company that we used to work at first, and then I came in second, and then our manager was like, hey, by the way, Alyssa, you can shadow Jeremy, and Jeremy will help you with your onboarding. What I didn't know was that Jeremy also just got hired. So he was basically learning too, and we would just sit next to each other and just be like, okay.
Yeah, I was told to train her, and I didn't even know what I was doing most of the time.
I didn't know until Jeremy told me that he hadn't even been at the company for that long. So
yeah, a lot of my conversation with her was like, so this is what this does, I think. I don't know. Like, I would tell her every time. I'd be like, I'm sorry, this is like my second week at the company. Like, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. And then we became friends, and we found out we had a lot of common interests, and this podcast was actually created while we were both still working at that company.
And it was fueled by the fact, and I will never get over this, it was fueled by the fact that we wanted to talk about Yakuza 0.
Yes.
A game that I told Alyssa that we should play, and we played it separately, but she immediately fell in love with the game, and I was like, this is awesome, right? She's like, yes, it is.
Oh, it's totally awesome.
Yeah. So I hope that answers your question.
Yes, and also nice to meet you. Brig is still too OP, please nerf. There's actually a couple people who I feel like I haven't introduced myself to yet, which I will probably do later today. Welcome to the Discord. I'm sorry I'm not active in the Discord that much. I don't go on Discord a lot during the weekday. And that's because I work late.
Yeah.
And that's really it. Like, I'm not trying to ignore anyone or everything. It's just like I just limit the social media that I use on the weekdays.
That's totally fine.
Yes, but I'm super happy. I hope you're enjoying the podcast. And then, like, there's like definitely like an increase of people who have started listening to the podcast. So I just wanted to say welcome to everyone.
Hey, yeah, welcome everybody. We will give you guys some details on how to follow us and where to join our Discord once we finish this last part of our question segment.
Yes.
All right, should we go through this really quickly one by one?
Yes. So PJ Sucks, what he did on the Discord was he gave us a list of questions for rapid fire that are in spoiler tags, and so we're supposed to reveal the question and answer quickly, I'm assuming.
Okay, yeah. So I'll do the first one. Do you want to just since there's 8, we could just switch off between. Okay. So question number 1. Black or white? Black.
Black. Zelda or Final Fantasy?
Oh, Zelda.
Final Fantasy.
Hamburger or hot dogs?
Hamburger.
Hamburger, yes.
Summer or winter? Summer.
Summer for me.
Day or night? I think night.
Night, yeah. Ramen or sushi? Ooh, sushi.
Oh,
Sushi.
oh fuck.
Damn, this is so good.
Sushi.
Yeah, okay. You got the next one.
Tacos or burritos? Tacos for me.
Burritos. I'm gonna go burritos. And then finally, multiplayer solo. Ooh.
Oh, this one. I'm a solo person. I don't do multiplayer that much.
Despite me playing a bunch of multiplayer games, I'm gonna say solo. I like the solace in being invested in the game that I can take time with.
For sure.
All right, cool. Thank you, PJ. Thank you, John.
Yes, that was great.
Chariot Goblin and Brig is still too OP. Please nerf. Thank you guys so much for the questions. And again, welcome everybody. Welcome to all the new viewers. If you guys would like to follow us, go to our website, www.downtime.live. You can also send us a question or comment via our contact form on the website. You can also send us a comment or question the old-fashioned way by going to by sending us an email, contact@downtime.live. Again, send us an email with the contact information as contact@downtime.live. If you want to join our Discord, you can find the link at the bottom of wherever this podcast is hosted. Just click on the link that's next to the word Discord. You'll get invited to our Discord server where we talk about everything from video games, movies, music, TV shows, anime, whatever you guys want. We always try to find time to talk about it with you guys. Lisa stated that she is not really active on the server, but still feel free to tag us if you guys want to ask us anything.
Yes, totally tag us. PJ, I saw your message about Asian Americans. I really appreciate that. I do read Discord on the weekends. I'm just not active on the weekday, but Jeremy's active all the time.
Yeah, so if you guys need an immediate answer for something, or if you have a question that requires mine or Lisa's attention, you can feel free to tag both of us, but it'll most likely be me answering it.
Yes.
You can find our podcast on YouTube. You can go to Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. We'll read it on the podcast. You can follow us on Twitter, which is at Downtime.Live, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Yes, that is correct. At Downtime. At Downtime.Live is our username on Twitter, so follow us there. Did I forget anything? Is that everything?
Nope, I think that's it.
Cool. Everybody, thanks for listening to podcast 159. See y'all next time.
Peace.